President Donald Trump's The One Big, Beautiful Bill passed in the House on Thursday morning, which could bring changes to Medicaid, SNAP food benefits and income taxes. The bill passed the House 215 to 214, with all Democrats and 2 Republicans voting against it after an all-night debate. The bill will next go to the Republican-controlled Senate, which has already clarified its plans to make changes. If that happens, the 2 chambers would still have to hash out the details that are capable of winning majority votes before they can send it to Trump's desk to be signed into law. President Trump posted on his Truth Social account shortly after the bill was passed in the House. "This is arguably the most significant piece of legislation that will ever be signed in the history of our country," Trump wrote. Here's what to know about the bill, which Trump has dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill. What is in the bill? The sweeping House bill is expected to touch many corners of American life, from their wallets and healthcare to the southern border and the national debt. The 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which lowered income tax rates for all income groups but disproportionately benefited the highest earners, is set to expire at the end of 2025. The bill would make those tax rates permanent at an expected cost of more than $2 trillion over the next 10 years. The United States Treasury expects the country to hit the debt ceiling in August. To avoid a catastrophic default on the national debt, Congress must approve an increase in the debt ceiling. This legislation raises the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. Who voted against the Big Beautiful Bill? All Democrats voted against the bill and 2 Republicans, Reps. Thomas Massie of Kentucky and Warren Davidson of Ohio voted against it. Republicans had only 3 no votes to spare in the closely divided House. Border security included in the Big Beautiful Bill. The bill would put more than $140 billion toward Trump's plan to crack down on illegal immigration, including $50 billion for a border wall, $45 billion for detention centers, $8 billion for immigration officers and $14 billion for deportations. It would also put around $150 billion toward defense spending, including $20 billion that would go, in part, to creating a Golden Dome missile defense system that Trump has promoted. 7.6 million would lose Medicaid. Medicaid, the program that provides health insurance to more than 71 million low-income Americans, would undergo big changes. That includes new work requirements for adults enrolled in Medicaid expansion beginning in December of 2026, more frequent eligibility checks, and disincentives for states to cover unauthorized migrant children, among other provisions. Collectively, the Medicaid proposal would save at least $625 billion and cause 7.6 million Americans to lose their health insurance over the next 10 years, according to initial estimates by the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. SNAP, food stamp requirements. The bill would implement new requirements in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP or food stamps, which provides food assistance to around 42 million Americans. That would save up to $300 billion over the next 10 years and shift more of the cost of the program to states. The Republican plan would implement new work requirements for people ages 55 to 64, require states to provide more funding for the program for the first time, limit SNAP eligibility to citizens and lawful permanent residents, and prevent future presidential administrations from increasing benefits without congressional approval. What is SALT deduction? State and local tax deductions, also known as SALT, allow people to write off a portion of their local taxes from what they owe the federal government. The 2017 tax law capped the deduction at $10,000, but now a handful of Republican members from high-tax states like California, New York and New Jersey are pushing to raise it. The proposed bill would raise that cap to $30,000. However, the group of blue state Republicans says it is not enough and is negotiating with Johnson to boost it further. That number will likely rise before the bill is passed out of the House. No taxes on tips and overtime. The bill would also implement temporary tax breaks for tipped wages and overtime, create a new temporary deduction for the interest on loans for American-made cars, and create a new tax deduction for people over age 65. Children under 8 years old could also benefit from a new Trump savings account seeded with $1,000 from the federal government. Expanded child tax credit. The bill would increase the child tax credit to $2,500 through 2028. it would drop to $2,000 after that. Taxes on Social Security. Social Security and Medicare withholding would not be taxed if the bill passes. People over age 65 could also deduct an additional $4,000 from their taxes if they make less than $75,000 or $150,000 filing jointly. People who make more than that are eligible for smaller deductions as their income increases. The deduction would last through 2028.